means, a Karen and a Becky.
Sure. So in a nutshell, all white women are Karens and Beckys.
Okay.
Why? Because all white women have white power and white privilege. And the way that you choose to wield that white power and privilege makes you the kind of Karen you are. So you can be one of many Karens that's gone viral for a whole host of things, including calling the police on black and brown people for literally just sitting and doing nothing, breathing. Or more likely than not, you're the Karen who is remaining silent when horrible things are being done and said in the boardroom, you know, at work, at your kid's school, at your own school, at home. It's that silence. And typically Karen's violence shows up, the devil shows up in whispers and hushes, and less so in viral Karen videos. All white women are Karen.
So, Regina, Deconstructing Karen then is based on Race to Dinner, which is a business that you and Syra started. Tell us about these dinners. What happens?
Well, basically, we have radically honest conversations with white women about their racism. And Syra will generally say that she is anti-black, and everybody will pivot towards me. And I go, well, and black people know it. The gig is up. We know that every person who comes to this country as an immigrant believes themselves to be better than us. So.
So Miss Marci Ien has weighed in on Justin Trudeau's reprimand for a Ugandan president in their sovereign nation making legislation for their sovereign nation. And Marci Ien piggybacks and calls it deplorable. Marci Ien is calling the Uganda president and the Uganda people's decision deplorable. Marci Ien. This is Marci Ien on the same social, that same platform that we're just talking about, Becky's and Karen's, being able to have a platform to spew racist remarks, spew hateful remarks. That's the social, a Canadian talk show. And this is Marci on the set of the social when she was a host. And she's a former journalist. This is her screenshot. So she's not shying away from the fact that she was part of that. And out of that is where this fan base came out of, and she ran for the Liberals. This is Marci Ien. Visually, she's a woman of African descent. And she is calling out an African nation, a sovereign African nation, for their sovereign decision to make a law that their people ask for. See, maybe Marci's around Justin so much she hasn't been exposed to a leader that listens to the people. Yeah, maybe that's what she's guilty of. And her ignorance come from being around people who are tone deaf to the plights of their people. And she was in Ottawa when Canadians went up there for her and her government to listen to the people, have a conversation, listen to the Canadians who were once called heroes and now they're discarded. So maybe that is Marci's issue. She's been surrounded by, and she has surrounded herself by, leadership that do not listen to the people. So she decides to chime in and ride the coattail of her Justin Trudeau and her calling it deplorable that Uganda, adopted their anti-gay legislation. Theirs. Right? So, is it a shock that Marci Ien would be a part of a talk show called The Social that spews this type of narrative, that she was a part of and associated herself with that type? Of course it's not. I had a conversation with the leader of the Canadian Heritage Party yesterday or the day before. My days just mesh into each other. And I said to him, and I've said this to my brothers and sisters within the Afro community, quote unquote leaders. And I say to both sides about this color issue, it's an energy issue. Because you have people with the energy that comes to steal, kill, and destroy the fabric of society. And they come in all hues, all shapes, all sizes, all hair color, all eye color, all languages. It's an energy. It's not the outward appearance. So when Martin Luther King says he has a dream that one day we are going to judge people by their character, he was talking about their energy and not the content of the character and not the color of their skin. We are so far away from it because you have those with a skin color who people with the same skin color are not discerning their character. And you're running behind people because of a skin color. You're following them. You say, we got to vote the person in because of the skin color. We just got to support because of the skin color. And you're not giving a rat's behind of the content of the character. And that goes for all communities of all skin color. All of you are running behind your own skin colors, and you're not judging the character that reside in that skin color. And then the opposite is true. Many of you are rejecting allies, rejecting people. You have your prejudices about people who are here to help and who are on the same team as you. But you judge them by their skin color and not the content, not the receipts of what they've stood up for. So the reason why Martin Luther King had allies of all skin color is because they recognize each other's energy. They say game recognize game, iron sharpens iron. It's the essence of the thing. It's not the outward appearance of it. You can recognize a person that is on the same page as you. Content of character. So both sides are shooting themselves in the foot, and both sides are their own liabilities because both sides do the same darn thing. You judge people based on their skin color and not the content of the character. And that is why this game is a long game. Because by the time you let go of that nonsense and you realize how many allies you've passed along the way, how many allies could have come along on this same journey, we would have shut this down a long time ago. But there is an energy within the fight, quote unquote, the fight, where you, the fight, are judging people's outward appearance. And that is why you have what you say you call controlled opposition. And many in the fight is following after people who are there controlling your opposition against the narrative because they have an outward appearance that you trust, and you're not discerning their character. You're making excuses for the things that are red flags in front of you because you are more concerned about the outward appearance. So both sides are guilty of the same thing. You who are supporting characters that are stealing, killing, and destroying your own community, you're supporting them because of the outside appearance. If that same energy had a different skin color, you wouldn't even support it. Many of you, if the same energy came in your community with a different skin color, you would not even give it a time of day. But it cloaks itself. Yes, it cloaks itself because it knows that you are carnal. It knows you do not have discernment. So it cloaks itself and it disguises itself in a skin color, in an appearance. That is why you have liberals still supporting ministers who have decided to steal, kill, and destroy what it is to be Canadian, what Canada once represented. And many of you are in lockstep destroying your own, sacrificing your own children. And on the other side of the fight is taking longer to win because you are also guilty of not recognizing allies. They say game recognize game, player recognize player. They say beauty recognize beauty. We have these things that we throw at each other when we're complimenting each other. Say, oh my God, girl, you're beautiful. You know, beauty recognize beauty. You're not able to recognize the energies. And that is why this thing is going to take longer, because many of you are superficial on both sides. On both sides of this game, and it is a game. So when the players on both sides really start to discern character, this is when humanity is going to unite. And that is when humanity is going to actually have a serious reckoning with energies, not with people, a reckoning with energies. Until then, I'm here. This is Lady O. Stay in action with faith and possibility. Walk in and protect your light. Your purpose will find you. Say what you mean and live like you mean what you say.